Okay, good afternoon. Today is the 20th of Nissan, April 28th. I want to dedicate today's learning in memory of my grandmother, whose yahrzeit was yesterday on Shabbos. And we talked about yesterday, and Shul, here's my assistant rabbi, Aiden Sigler. Yesterday, we mentioned that every Jew has the ability to have complete faith in Hashem, to give himself over to Hashem. How? Because just like Moshe did it, we could do it. So that's the question. How can we do it just like Moshe did it? Not your brother, Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu, right? If Moshe Rabbeinu could do it, you could do it. We're not like on the level of Moshe Rabbeinu, who got the luchos from Hashem, the Torah from God. He was up on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. How can we do it like Moshe? So Alter Rebbe explains that every Yid has a little bit of Moshe passed on from generation to generation. And that shepherding, first of all, we already got the little Moshe Rabbeinu, but also in every generation, Hashem puts tzaddikim and rebbes in every generation that gives us the ability to have Avos Hashem and Yiras Hashem and Bittul and Mesiras Nefesh, which means like giving over and self-nullification. Like we're ready to give up our lives for Hashem. That's how much we have faith and trust in Hashem. Okay, so for today, we're continuing this idea that there's a Moshe within every Jewish soul that gives a person the ability to connect to Hashem in a real, conscious, meaningful way through harnessing one's mind through das, which means complete understanding, which leads to an emotion of fear towards Hashem. So you think about how Hashem could do anything. They might be the last day of our lives, chas v'shalom. But we know that young people sometimes pass away. And even if we're older, it could happen at any time. Hashem decides when and what and how and where. So he also gives us the ability to eat. Baruch Hashem, today we have a house, a roof over our heads, we have food to eat, but things can change so rapidly, we never know. And that's the lower level of fear. But okay. There's a Moshe Rabbeinu, a Rebbe in every generation who guides a Jew in his divine awareness and divine service. In today's lesson, even with the power of Das, the intimate knowledge of Hashem, fueled by one's inner Moshe, one needs strenuous effort to overcome the body's coarseness and soul blockages. So even though we have the Moshe inside of us, we have our Rebbe to go to, but we still fail because the body and the Yetzer Hara have their ways of, blocking what we try to do. And we have to work on it. And how do we work on that? By crushing the body's resistance through Shuvah. It's amazing the parallels between the Maimer and the daily Tanya and everything else. It's all connected. So we have the ability and the capacity and the quality of attaching our das, our mindset, and becoming one with the understanding that we want to connect to the Eibishter through fear, through love, through, giving ourselves over, Mesiras Nefesh. So that it not only understands, but also feels godliness. A person can feel godliness and become united with Hashem. Yesh b'chol nefesh misrael. Every Yid has the ability. V'nikasa v'nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom. How? By virtue of the fact that Moshe, our teacher, gives us this power, gives us this ability. Only since the soul has clothed itself in the body, it needs great and mighty exertion, doubled and redoubled, in order to feel and be attached to God. The fact that it's there, it's like a player, a ball player. What's your favorite sport? Okay, a soccer player. He may be naturally gifted. But once he's naturally gifted, if he doesn't do anything about his natural gift, then he's not going to make it to the MLS, right? He's not going to be on a professional team or even a non-professional team because he's not putting in the effort. But if he has natural gifts and talents, and then he works and works and works, then he's going to be great. Same thing, every Yid has the natural ability to connect to Hashem through the gift that Moshe Rabbeinu passed on through the generations and through the Rebbes that we have, that we are able to connect to. But that's not enough. We have to put in the effort. And it's not always easy. I was blessed with the ability to wake up no matter what time I go to sleep. I could go to sleep at 4 in the morning, at 2 in the morning, at 1, at 12 o'clock, whatever time. Even if I slept an hour or two, maybe I'll go to sleep later because I'm tired later on in the day. But I get up in the morning. It's not so easy for other people. I go to my kids. We went to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. Some people it's very, very hard. But I have my own challenges that I'm probably not interested in sharing right now, right? We all struggle with different things and we have to fight through every single day. It's never going to be easy. I have a friend who always tells me whenever I kvetch or I'll gripe a little bit, I'll say, oh, this, that, to go. Since when did you sign a contract that life was going to be easy? There is no contract. Life is going to be easy. And if you have a difficulty in life, whether it's financial, whether it's pain, whether it's mental, whether it's, a friend is bothering you in school, you're like, oh, as long as I get through this, then it'll be easy. Once next year, he's going to a different school, different camp, whatever. Going to be somebody coming along that's going to be even more difficult. And it's going to be more of a financial hardship. And maybe, right now it's just a little pain in your shoulder. You never, God willing, you'll never experience kidney stones. But you know what I mean? There's always something worse, and you have to be ready for that challenge. You have to be ready to take it on. While it's true that the soul has the capacity, by the fact that it's being nurtured from the soul of Moshe Rabbeinu, or where the soul is lacking this capacity, then even the greatest effort would be to no avail. If a guy doesn't have skill and talent, he could practice and practice and practice. If he's just clumsy, he's never going to be able to, make it to the majors, right? Nevertheless, even after possessing this capacity, it requires major effort to actually comprehend and feel Hashem. First, there is the exertion of the flesh to throw off the bodily shackles, to pound the body, to weaken its corporeality, and to gain its submission so that it should not obscure the light of the soul, thus making it possible for him to understand and feel godliness. On a basic level, if you want to eat an ice cream right now, you say, no, I'm full, I already had dessert, and I'm not going for that extra donut. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like the extra dessert. Or even if, you have enough, you're full, and there's a delicious piece of kugel sitting there, and you're like, I'm not going to have that. I don't need it. Right? The Yetzer Hara wants you to have it because you don't really need it, and he wants you to. And the same is true for so many different things in life. Those are things that are even kosher, that's okay. But things that are usher, things that are not okay, we don't want to allow the Yetzer Hara a foothold. So we have to fight them off. That's on a very basic level with our bodies. The gufa de lo salik bein ha'ira nishmasa mevatshinle. The Zohar said, we mentioned this earlier, a body into which the light of the soul does not penetrate should be crushed. So we have to crush that Sitra Achra, we have to crush the body in order to allow the soul to shine. How do we do that? That's accomplished by doing tshuva from the depths of his heart. So when one has weakened the desires of the body, okay? Instead of getting jealous, just relax. It's okay. I'll be happy with what I have. Instead of you want to get angry? That's the Yetzer Hara telling you, get angry. Why? Don't let that guy do that to you. You know what? And all the different ways that the Nefesh Abahamis, the animalistic soul, wants to pull you in a certain direction that's not serving Hashem. You have to fight it and you have to push it away. And it becomes possible after that for the light of the soul to shine. And this then is one manner of exertion known as exertion of the flesh. You're working on your body. This is not for me. I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to think this. I'm not going to say this because it's not appropriate. So the takeaway for today is nothing's easy. But you have the accessibility to a profound relationship with Hashem, and you have to work. You have to put in the work. That's why it's called Avodas Hashem. We're an Eved Hashem. We're a slave of Hashem. We like to translate it as servant. Because servant is a little bit nicer, You're a servant to the king. You have nice quarters. It's really a slave. You got to work hard. But for starters, don't allow bodily and worldly necessities to dominate your life. There's a time to play. There's a time to eat. There's a time to enjoy. But that shouldn't be the main focus. The main focus is on Hashem, on Torah, and on mitzvahs. And then there's always dessert. You leave it on the side for that. Okay? That's today's Tanya, everyone. Tonight is Yom Tov, the seventh night and day, tomorrow of Pesach. Tomorrow we read the Az Yashir, the splitting of the sea. And then we have Achron Shel Pesach, which is Monday night and Tuesday. And Achron Shel Pesach, at the end of Pesach, we have a Mashiach Suda here in the afternoon. 6:30 is Mincha. 6:45 is a Suda. We sit down, we sing Nigunim, we drink wine, we eat matzah, and we're not saying goodbye to Pesach. We're saying hello and we're welcoming Mashiach. On that note, hopefully Mashiach will come before Yom Tov even begins, and he'll show us how to have the Suda properly. But until then, we have to do our part, to bring Mashiach closer and faster. And we finished exactly at 6:13. The clock is a few seconds behind because on my phone it says 6:13. So it represents the 613 mitzvahs that we all have to focus on doing every single day. Right, Ed? Thank you for helping me out with the shir today. And we'll see you, Mitzvah Hashem. Have a good Yom Tov, everyone.